Welcome back to the Sad Dad Games podcast. You're listening to another episode of Eric's Indie Corner, where every week I pick an indie game that I love and want to recommend to all of you. Today we're going to be talking about Castaway. We are your hosts, Eric.
I'm Shan.
I'm Tucker.
I'm Emerlie.
All right, and let's just dive right into it. So today we're talking about Castaway. Castaway
How
is a
good
super
was
cool
Tom
game.
Hanks, by the way?
I know.
Oh yeah,
so
this is
good.
great. Yeah.
Wilson.
Wilson.
I cried real tears when he had to say goodbye to Wilson and just
Wilson. So this is a game adaptation of the Tom Hanks Castaway movie. You play as Wilson the volleyball.
And when he has to knock out his tooth with the...
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. That part, unreal.
Yeah.
So
With the ice
visceral.
skate. Ooh.
Yeah, ice skate, yeah.
I have to say, every time Eric goes to do his intro, you can see Shan just waiting
just
to
waiting for
interrupt
it.
it. He's like,
I need it.
moment.
Eric did it to me for like 6 months
Yeah,
straight.
but I
now
stopped.
I'm just, I need it.
I don't do it anymore because you said it pissed you off, and so I stopped. Now I sit
What is it
quietly.
on? It's Always
with my
Sunny when
hands
he's
folded.
like, oh, is it the Family Feud episode?
oh yeah, it's the buzzer.
No, okay. I was thinking of a different moment when he wants to chime in and he wants to say something. But anyway, go on. I'll think of it.
So, Castaway, Tom Hanks, great movie, super cool stuff. This game has absolutely nothing to do with the Tom Hanks movie, and I will say that probably the greatest fault of this game is the greatest fault of this game is it has a deeply generic name. I think that they could have done something else to like. That's my biggest criticism with this game is that I feel like the name is very generic, but very fun game that I really super enjoyed and very highly recommend. It does make its SEO stuff kind of weird if you just Google like Castaway, because I make all the thumbnails for the videos and I was Googling like, Castaway box art, and it was just like Tom Hanks and islands and things that had nothing to do with this game. So I had to be really specific with, because it's like, this is what you meant, right? This is the Castaway with things. So yeah. So anyways, moving right along. Castaway is a top-down action puzzle game. It's Zelda. It's basically a Zelda game. It's developed by Canary Games. It's based in Montreal, Canada. And it released in August 16th of 2024. Other notable games from the studio is they also developed another game called Lunark, which is like a realistic side-scrolling platformer game. They have a name for it where it's like you can't jump very high and stuff. But and that's one that I'm excited about. We'll talk about that another day. But Lunark, also a very cool game. So yeah, Canary Games, they have a really good eye for like color and art style, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's what originally kind of made me gravitate towards this game, had really appealing screenshots. So I straight up judged this book by its cover, and I'm all the better for it.
I remembered what it was. It's Charlie McDennis, and he's like, because Dennis is a bastard man.
Oh yeah. Yes. Shan's just always sitting on the edge of his seat just waiting to jump in. Because Dennis is a bastard man.
That's what it was. Okay, please continue.
That's a good one.
No? All right, please continue.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about Castaway, talk about story, gameplay, and then visuals and sound. The story is a very simple setup. You are a boy in a spaceship with your dog and your trusty adventuring items. You're flying over an unknown planet, and a giant laser beam shoots up from the planet, cuts your spaceship in half, and you crash land on this unknown planet. And then you wake up on a beach that looks... Basically, like Pikmin. That's how every Pikmin game starts. I don't think that anyone in Pikmin knows how to normally land a spaceship. I'm pretty sure they only crash land spaceships in Pikmin. Mm-hmm. I'm like, convince me otherwise. I've never seen a single one of them land intentionally on a planet. They just crash land everywhere they go.
I actually don't think... I think one of the Pikmin, they do it on purpose.
I don't know. I played them all fairly recently. Probably. I don't remember, but...
I don't remember for sure.
Landing normally at the place you meant to go does not make for a good game. I'm just gonna maybe unpopular opinion there.
It's like in every video game, if you get in a helicopter, it's like that helicopter is going to crash. Yeah. or like in a movie, that's movie/video game 101. You get in a movie or you get in a helicopter in an action movie, it's going to crash. It's more exciting. So That's basically what happens. Little boy is in his super cool spaceship, gets shot by a giant laser beam, crashes on a beach that looks basically identical to the beach from Link's Awakening. And that is the first of many visual cues and homages that it pays to The Legend of Zelda and specifically Link's Awakening. So this whole game takes place on a little island that
I didn't
does...
pick up on that.
It does kind of feel, what? It does have a very like Link's Awakening kind of a feel to it. But what makes this game interesting and different from Zelda games is that it's incredibly bite-sized. The whole island is something like 12 different screens or something like that. So it's very, very small. It's like a really, really tiny overworld area. So basically, you are tasked with, you crash land on this island, you're on the shore, and then these 3 pterodactyls come out of nowhere and they scoop up your items and your dog. And so you have to go
John Wick style.
Yeah, so it's not just Zelda, it's John Wick too. So so you have to go on an adventure to regain your items, your key items, to progress further on the island, to go into other dungeons, and to eventually save your dog. So I really like this gameplay progression. It's really simple. It's really basic. It's been done a bunch of times before, but I feel like Castaway does it really well because it's so bite-sized. It's very digestible and really easy to just kind of like, pick up and kill an afternoon. But so you go to these 3 different dungeons. Each dungeon has a different item. You need to get your sword and a pickaxe that can break through rocks, and then a hook shot, which behaves pretty similarly to how it does in Zelda games. So it's not like doing anything incredibly unique with its general story structure and general gameplay structure. It's very much styled after Zelda, which I'm always kind of okay with. I love Zelda and pretty much every Zelda game. And so if you are going to copy someone's homework, copying Zelda's homework is not a bad way to go, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I found the gameplay to be very fun.
How many of you copied homework in school? Because I copied a shit ton of homework.
All the time, as often as I could. I learned nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a whole system in my group of friends where it's like each day of the week we would copy somebody else's homework.
I just didn't do my homework.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
that
was another way to do it.
I would be failing almost all of my classes, but I test really well. So I would just like ace my tests without any studying, not doing my homework. I slept through all my classes, and I would get the highest test scores out of almost everybody, especially in math. And that would take my... I was really not good. But it would take me from like D's and F's to like A and B, So it kept saving my grade over and over again. Otherwise, I would have failed a lot more classes.
There you go.
So
who
does homework?
Who does homework?
Suckers.
I was somewhere in between Shan and Emerlie, where I would do the homework and then I would forget to turn it in because my ADHD brain would prevent me from doing it. And then I'd come home and mom would be like, "Did you turn it in?" I'd be like, "No." And she's like, "You have to turn it in tomorrow." And I'd be like failing all my classes. I'm doing all the work, but it's just like shoved, like crumpled up in a corner of my backpack. And every like month or so, my mom would make me clean up my backpack and she'd be like, "Eric, what is this?" It's just like a whole month's worth of homework just like wadded up into paper balls in my backpack.
Yeah. And let me guess,
that's
Tucker,
the kind of
you
life
just didn't
I
have
led.
friends to copy homework from?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I copied too, I probably not. Like
I was
ton,
asking
but...
Tucker.
Yeah, I not a lot of copying. We usually got homework stuff assigned like during class, and so I would just not pay attention in class and just do it in class. So I never really did homework at home. But yeah, like Emerlie, like tested really well, so it was kind of high school was a breeze. A little bit of awakening in college, but then I had to put a minimal effort to get the grades I needed.
I copied a lot of Tucker's work in college.
Yeah.
Was he?
That's when you want to do it, is when you're paying for the school yourself. That's when you want to cheat yourself out of an actual education.
So Shan and I had a specific class. It was a pretty hard class. It was a neuroscience class, but I had taken it the semester before and didn't do very well in it because I just stopped going and so I ended up failing it. But I kept all my notes. So the second time through, the professor did not change his curriculum at all. And so it was a breeze the second time through. And just, Shan and I rocked the crap out of that class.
I would sit next to Tucker and I'd look down at his clicker so I could see which button he was pressing. And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, so that That one.
Great.
That one.
B. Yeah.
Seriously.
Man, I forgot about those little clicker things. For quizzes and yeah.
And he would like go up and down the aisle, and he's like, he would be scanning for cheaters, and we would always sit in the very back, and I would only cheat when he wasn't looking.
Shan was a sneaky cheater. You knew how to. I
was very good at cheating. Yeah. So I still make a fantastic salary. So it does not matter if you cheat, so long as you do your career very well.
Find what you do a good job at it, and find something that you can do good enough for someone else to pay you money to do it, and then get really good at that and learn those things. And then also, basic life skills are good to learn too. But I think that sometimes there can be too much of a heavy emphasis on grades, where it should be on like actually learning things, which is more important than grades.
And actually, it was important to let people cheat, because I have since pulled Tucker into all of the companies that I've worked for. So it actually is important to let people cheat.
Yeah, pay it forward. Yeah, if you let them cheat, forward. Maybe they'll get
That's
you a job.
That's the lesson. Yeah. Pay it forward.
By cheating.
And they will help you out later in life.
Yeah.
It's 100% of my life experience.
Cheaters never prosper. Never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Cheaters always prosper.
Man, I don't even know how to organically loop this back into Castaway.
Yeah. Emerlie never cheated. She still isn't being pulled along with somebody else.
Yes.
I
barely graduated high school, I'm going to be honest. If I failed one more class, I was going to not graduate. I cut it really close.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
You do what you do. I think I took a bunch of joke classes my senior year. So I had like a 3.5 my senior year because I had like 4 theater classes. And like one of them was one that I had already taken before, but they let me do it again for some reason. Like,
well, so I had a lot of health problems. That's one of the reasons I almost failed high school, because I was sleeping through everything. And I got that resolved into my senior year. So you can literally see my grades go from like D's and F's up to, I got straight A's the last 2 semesters. I got like a 4.0 and then a 3.9, and you can see my absences disappear. And then I was like ballroom club president, and I was a Skills USA reporter, and I was going to 2 different schools at 2 different in 2 different school districts. I was doing tech center, like all of this stuff.
Brag.
Because of that. But like at the same time, like I was still struggling with my classes my senior year, like at my normal school. And, I just never did my homework, which now I know I have ADHD. But talking to my tech center, like web design teacher, he said that's actually really common. He gets a lot of students that come in who are like failing all of his classes or all of their classes, but then they come in and they get like A+ in his class, because when you actually are focused on something you're interested in, you actually do the work. And yeah, so, it's fine.
I had the same thing. I was getting like 2.5 in middle school, and they're like, next year the grades are going to matter, and so you have to focus now because it's going to carry over into next year. You don't suddenly start doing better. And I was like, fuck you. And then I got 4.0s for 2 years straight.
And you had a lot of
do what I want
classes too.
Yeah, with 4 AP classes. And I was like, screw you. I make my own destiny.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to get good grades just to spite you. And then the teacher's like, good, thank you. You should do that. Yeah. You're not showing anybody. That's exactly what we wanted you to do.
Yeah. And then they're like, keep getting A's. And I was like, fuck you, and I started getting B's.
On purpose. 89% right. On everything.
They call it buzz.
Straight B's.
Yeah.
How did we get onto this? It was
copy homework.
Copy homework. Talking about how much that they were copying Zelda?
Yeah, so Tom Hanks never cheated on Meg Ryan.
Oh.
And Tom Hanks was also in a movie called Castaway.
And Joe versus the Volcano.
Thank you for bringing us back.
What was the third movie? It was the third movie?
One with Poison Ivy up his ass, right?
He never was in a movie with Poison Ivy up his ass. Oh, She's Got Mail.
Yeah.
There you go. Come on, you guys. Tucker brought it back, and then you can distract me. Castaway. Castaway. Okay, everybody shut up. We're going to talk about Castaway again. So
I love Tom Hanks.
So yeah, I love Tom Hanks. So Castaway gameplay is pretty simple, like I said. But one thing that does kind of mix it up is once you finish the like standard Zelda style island, you use the broken ship parts and the pieces that you've acquired. So you sail away on your boat, and then you wind up at this area called the tower. And it's sort of like a roguelike tower climbing experience where there's 50 different floors. You have to climb through the different floors. As you defeat enemies, you get currency and level up, and the currency gives you like the ability to purchase little skills that modify your experience, like give you more health and make your weapons do more damage. The thing that I liked about this is that it wasn't overly complicated and it wasn't overly difficult. The power-ups were all very simple, and the gameplay wasn't like kick your teeth in tough, which a lot of roguelike experiences are, which is usually what turns me off of them, is I feel like I'm being punished for trying to play the game. But I liked this because it was kind of like a whole extra little game tacked on to the end of the normal game. And then once you defeat that, then that's when you see like the real ending of the game. Once you climb to the top of the tower, you get to fight the pterodactyls that stole all of your stuff and your dog. And then you get the proper end of the game. And it's a fun little experience. So I liked that it was kind of like two different things in one. It was trying two different things. And I thought that they were both a lot of fun, and they were both really successful. So really
I thought you liked
about
being punished for playing games like Silk Song.
I'm on a break with Silk Song. We're on a break right now. Silk Song was making me mad.
On a break.
Yeah. And so I need to take a break from it. Exactly like that. Ross and Rachel's style. I'm seeing other games for a little while I cool
Ross
off.
Or are
Yeah.
you Rachel?
I'm both. No, I don't know, Ross, I guess. Rachel always bugged me.
Well,
Ross
is okay for like 2 seasons.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Ross is. Did you know he's one of the most hated TV characters of all time?
He is top like
With Ted
3.
Mosby.
Oh,
Ted
wow.
Mosby is,
Ted
like,
Mosby
number-
deserves it.
Ted Mosby, Skylar, and Ross, I think, are the top 3.
Skylar doesn't deserve it, but she also kind of does. Yeah, that's a whole thing for another day. But yeah, so you complete the tower to get the real ending. Lots of fun. Really enjoy that. Good gameplay loop. I really enjoyed the Zelda style adventure, and then the unexpected roguelite kind of miniature experience on the end. And so I'm going to talk a little bit now about the visuals and sound. I feel like I said earlier, one of the things that originally drew me to this game is that I feel like it uses a beautiful pixel art style. It has really large, very chunky pixels that really, really reminded me of like a Game Boy Color era game. But then it utilizes a color palette that is much more vibrant and specific and controlled than you would normally see in a Game Boy Color game. So it has this really like almost like cyan based, like cyan mixed with this kind of like salmonish pink color, lots of really vibrant eclectic hues that you wouldn't normally see to represent like earth tones and things like that, but they use them together in a way so that it all feels very cohesive. And this, with as well as Lunark, the other game developed by the studio, these guys have a really strong understanding of compelling pixel art and how to use color to like make just really beautiful pixel art. They do a lot with a very small amount of pixels, and their use of color is really, really nice. So very big fan of that. It felt like what a Game Boy Color game would feel like if it was made in the modern era and had kind of modern color and sensibilities. So
Yeah, or if it had a backlight to it,
or if it had a backlight,
or if it was on the chromatic, which is that
it
modern
reminds me
Game
a
Boy.
lot of like the just Game Boy mods with an IPS screen
yeah.
added to it. Like that's very reminiscent. I guess reminiscent of something modern. I don't know if that's a thing, but
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. But yeah, I agree with that, because a lot of old Game Boy Color games, they had a very specific color palette because they would have to stand out on a screen that didn't have a light on it. And so it was a lot of kind of darker colors and more controlled hues. And this one is a lot more vibrant, and it can have a little more nuance to it than a Game Boy Color title could have, because it has the advantage of having that backlit screen. So I'm a huge fan of this pixel art. I think it's delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Music is also very nice. It's a small soundtrack, but it's not a very large game, so it doesn't need a lot of tracks. Music is composed by John Vinet, and it is a great chiptune soundtrack. It evokes kind of that sense of adventure in the overworld that you get from regular Zelda games, like when you're exploring, you want that kind of upbeat, like the, in Zelda, it's the dun 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 that gets you kind of like ready to, I'm marching around the overworld, I'm going on an adventure. And this game evokes a similar kind of an adventurous feeling. And then it gets very slow and controlled and almost ambient and in the background when you're inside the dungeons. And so it does, again, copy Zelda's homework in that regard, but it's distinct enough that it feels like its own thing while clearly paying homage to its inspirations, which for me hit the nail right on the head. Nailed it out of the park. Big fan. So that pretty much does it. I think I do have one small complaint besides the title, is that I feel like the game was far too short. I really wanted more of it. There was a lot of games that like you beat it and it like a shorter game and you're like, oh man, I love that. I wanted more of it. But that's just because you liked it so much. But this one really did feel like it was too short. Like I really think that it could have benefited from being about twice as long. Like to give you a reference. So playtime is going to run you between about like 30 to 60 minutes for the main island area. It's very short. It's like really, really short there. And then the tower is another hour or two. And so it's a pretty short experience. And I really would have liked to have even just like an hour and a half to 2 hours on that island area, like the main, because once you do that, and then once you do the tower, that's kind of all there is to see. And what's there is very, very good and very, very enjoyable. And I don't regret playing it at all. And I would definitely recommend it. But I do wish that there was just a little bit more of it because I did have such a good time with it. So, yeah.
Hit me with the price point.
All right. So playtime, as I mentioned, fairly short, 30 to 60 minutes to about 2-ish hours. It's available for Nintendo Switch and Steam, and it is a whopping $7.99. So very affordable.
Ooh.
Yeah,
$8 for 60 minutes of play? That's...
Well, it's about, once you do the tower, it's closer to about 2 or 3 hours. So I feel like the price point kind of matches.
Yeah, see, that's like a $4 or $5 game.
I was going to say, I snagged it on a sale for about $4. So pretty happy with that.
Ooh, $2 an hour?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't really price per hour.
Yep. So very fun. Highly recommend. This is the kind of game that's right up my alley. It's beautiful pixel art. Reminds me of Zelda. Nice chiptune soundtrack. It's checking all my boxes. Big fan of Castaway.
Okay.
All right.
It kind of looks like Link's Awakening, but he's wearing the tunic from Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, because he's got a blue tunic on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does have those kind of vibes. Yeah.
Never
It even like uses hearts and heart containers and stuff. So it's very
no.
Zelda reminiscent. Yeah.
If
It's like
there
that-
isn't a
copy my
volleyball with a
home-
bloody hand, then I send it back.
Yeah.
It's like the whole like copy my homework, but don't make it look like you copied my homework.
Yeah. All right, but we're going to copy Link's Awakening, but he's going to wear a blue tunic, so it's different. Yeah.
They won't notice the difference.
All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for listening to this episode of Eric's Indie Corner. Remember to listen to our regular series every Thursday, Eric's Indie Corner every Monday. You can find us wherever you find podcasts, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you feel like you're enjoying the kind of stuff that we do here. And we'd, see you next time. Bye.
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 Outro. Bleep-a-doof, bleep-a-deep, bloop-a-dee-blow.